Now let us see processes requirements may also be specified mandating a particular ME programming language or development method. Non-functional requirements may be more critical than functional requirements. If these are not met, the system may be useless. Now let us see types of non-functional requirements. See the figure. Non-functional requirements implementation. Non-functional requirements may affect the overall architecture of a system rather than the individual components. For example, to ensure that performance requirements are met, you may have to recognize the system to minimize communications between components. A single non-functional requirement such as security requirement may generate a number of related functional requirements that define system services that are required. It may also generate requirements that restrict existing requirements. Non-functional classifications. Product requirements which specify that the delivered product must behave in a particular way, example execution speed, reliability, etc. Organizational requirements which are a consequence of organizational policies and procedures, example process standards used, implementation requirements, etc. External requirements which arise from factors which are external to the system and its development process, example interoperability requirements, legislative requirements, etc. Examples of non-functional requirements in the MHCPMS. See the figure. Goals and requirements. Non-functional requirements may be very difficult to state precisely, and imprecise requirements may be difficult to verify. Goal. A general intention of the user such as ease of use, verifiable non-functional requirement. A statement using more measure that can be objectively tested. Goals are helpful to developers as they convey the intentions of the system users. Usability requirements. The system should be easy to use by medical staff and should be organized in such a way that user errors are minimized. Goal. Medical staff shall be able to use all the system functions after 4 hours of training. After this training, the average number of errors made by experienced users shall not exceed 2 per hours of system use. Testable non-functional requirement. Now see the figure matrices for specifying non-functional requirements. The software requirements document. The software requirements document is the official statement of what is required of the system. Developers should include both a definition of user requirements and a specification of the system requirements. It is not a design document. As far as possible, it should set off what the system should rather than how it should do it. See the figure. Requirements document variability. Information in requirements document depends on type of system and the approach to development used. System developed incrementally will typically has less detail in the requirements document. Requirements documents standards have been designed. Example IEEE standard. These are mostly applicable to the requirements for large systems engineering projects. See the figure. Now let us say requirements and design. In principle, requirements should state what the system should do and design should describe how it does this. In practice, requirements and design are inseparable. A system architecture may be designed to structure the requirements. The system may interoperate with other systems that generate design requirements. The use of the specific architecture to specify non-functional requirements may be a domain requirement. This may be the consequence of the regulatory requirement. Natural language specification. Requirements are written as natural language sentences supplemented by diagrams and tables used for writing requirements because it is expressive, intuitive and universal. This means that the requirements can be understood by users and customers. Guidelines for writing requirements. Invent a standard format and use it for all requirements. Use language in a consistent way. Use shell for mandatory requirements. Should for desirable requirements. Use text highlighting to identify key parts of the requirement. Avoid the use of computer jargon. For include an explanation rationale of why a requirement is necessary. Problems with natural language. Lack of clarity. Precision is difficult without making the document difficult to the read. Requirements confusion. Functional and non-functional requirements tend to be fixed up. Requirements amalgamation. Several different requirements may be expressed together. See the example requirements for the insulin pump software system as shown in the figure. Structured specifications. An approach to writing requirements where the freedom of the requirements writer is limited and requirements are written in a standard way. This works well for some types of requirements, example requirements for embedded control system, but is sometimes too rigid for writing business system requirements. Form-based specifications. Definition of the function or entity. Description of inputs and where they come from. Description of outputs and where they go to. Information about the information needed for the computation and other entities used. Description of the action to be taken pre and post conditions if appropriate. The side effects if any of the function. A structured specification of a requirement for an insulin pump. See the figure. Tabular specification used to supplement natural language, particularly useful when you have to define a number of possible alternative courses of action. For example, the insulin pump system bases its computations on the rate of change of blood sugar level, and the tabular specification explains how to calculate the insulin requirements for the different scenarios. Tabular specification of computation for an insulin pump. See the figure. Requirements engineering processes. The processes used for RE vary widely depending on the application domain, the people involved, and the organization developing the requirements. However, there are a number of generic activities common to all processes: requirement elicitation, requirement analysis, requirement validation, requirements management. In practice, RE is an iterative activity in which these processes are interleaved. See the figure, a spiral view of requirements engineering process. Requirements elicitation and analysis. Sometimes called requirements elicitation or requirements discovery, involves technical staff working with customers to FMD out about the application domain, the services that the system should provide, and the system's operational constraints. May involve end users, managers, engineers involved in maintenance, domain experts, trade unions, etc. These are called stakeholders. Now let us see problems of requirements analysis. Stakeholders don't know what they really want. Stakeholders express requirements in their own terms. Different stakeholders may have conflicting requirements. Organizational and political factors may influence the system requirements. The requirements change during the analysis process. New stakeholders may emerge and the business environment may change. Requirements elicitation and analysis. Software engineers work with a range of system stakeholders to find out about application domain, the services that the system should provide, the required system performance, hardware constraints, other systems, etc. Stages include requirements discovery, requirements classification and organization, requirements prioritization and negotiation, requirements specification. The requirements elicitation and analysis process. See the figure. Process activities. Requirements discovery. Interacting with stakeholders to discover their requirements. Domain requirements are also discovered at this stage. Requirements, classification and organization. Groups in related requirements and organizes them into coherent clusters. Prioritization and negotiation. Prioritizing requirements and resolving requirements conflicts. Requirements specification. Requirements are documented and input into the next round of the spiral. Problems of requirements elicitation. Stakeholders don't know what they really want. Stakeholders express requirements in their own terms. Different stakeholders may have conflicting requirements. Organizational and political factors may influence the system requirements. The requirements change during the analysis process. New stakeholders may emerge and the business environment change. Requirements discovery. The process of gathering information about the required and existing systems and distilling the user and the system requirements from this information. Interaction is with system stakeholders from manager to external regulators. Systems normally have a range of stakeholders. Stakeholders in the MHC PMS. Patients whose information is recorded in the system. Doctors who are responsible for assessing and treating patients. Nurses who coordinate the consultations with doctors and administer some treatments. Medical receptionists who manage patients' appointments. IT staff who are responsible for installing and maintaining the system. A medical ethics manager who must ensure that the system meets current ethical guidelines for patient care. Healthcare managers who obtain management information from the system. Medical records staff that are responsible for ensuring that system information can be maintained and preserved and that record keeping procedures have been properly implemented. Interweaving. For a formal or informal interviews with stakeholders are a part of most RE processes. Types of interview. Closed interview based on the predetermined list of questions. Open interviews where various issues are explored with stakeholders. Effective interviewing. Be open-minded, avoid preconceived ideas about the requirements and are willing to listen to stakeholders. Prompt the interviewee to get discussions going using a springboard question, a requirements proposal, or by working together on a prototype system. Interviews in practice. Normally a mix of closed and open-ended interviewing. Interviews are good for getting an overall understanding of what stakeholders do and how they might interact with the system. Interviews are not good for understanding domain requirements. Engineers cannot understand specific domain terminology. Some domain knowledge is so familiar that people FMD is hard to articulate or think that it is not worth articulating. Scenarios are real life examples of how a system can be used. They should include a description of the starting situation, a description of the normal flow of events, a description of what can go wrong, information about other concurrent activities, a description of the state where the scenario finishes. See the figure. Scenario for collecting medical history in MHC PMS. Use cases. Use cases are a scenario-based technique in the UML which identify the actors in an interaction and which describes the interaction itself. A set of use cases should describe all possible interactions with the system. High-level graphical model supplemented by more detailed tabular description. Sequence diagrams may be used to add detail to use cases by showing the sequence of event processing in the system. See the figure. Now let us see ethnography. A social scientist spends a considerable time observing and analyzing how people actually work. People do not have to explain or articulate their work. Social and organizational factors of the importance may be observed. Ethnographic studies have shown that work is usually richer and more complex than suggested by simple system models. Scope of ethnography. Requirements that are derived from the way that people actually work rather than the way which process definitions suggest that they ought to work. Requirements that are derived from cooperation and awareness of the other people's activities, awareness of what other people are doing leads to change in the ways in which we do things. Ethnography is effectively for understanding existing processes but now cannot identify new features that should be added to the system. Now let us see focused ethnography. Developed in a project studying the air traffic control process, combines ethnography with prototyping. Prototyping development results in unanswered questions which focus the ethnographic analysis. The problem with ethnography is that it studies existing practices which may have some historical basis which is no longer relevant. Ethnography and prototyping for requirements analysis. See the figure. Requirement validation concerned with demonstrating that the requirements define the system that the customer really wants. Requirements error costs are high, so validation is very important. Fixing a requirements error after delivery may cost up to 100 times the cost of fixing an implementation error. Requirements checking. Validity. Does the system provide the functions which best support the customer's needs? Consistency. Are there any requirements conflicts? Completeness. Are all functions required by the customer included? Realism. Can the requirements be implemented given available budget and technology? Verifiability. Can the requirements be checked? Now let us see requirements validation techniques. Requirements reviews. Systematic manual analysis of the requirements. Prototyping using a executable model of the system to check requirements. Developing tests for requirements to check testability. Requirements reviews. Regular reviews should be held while the requirements definition is being formulated. Both the client and the contractor staff should be involved in reviews. Reviews may be formal with the completed documents or informal. Good communications between developers, customers and users can resolve problems at any early stage. Review checks. Verifiability. Is the requirements realistically testable? Comprehensibility. Is the requirement properly understood? Traceability. Is the origin of the requirement clearly stated? Adaptability. Can the requirement be changed without a large impact on other requirements? Requirements management. Requirements management is the process of managing changing requirements during the requirements emerging requirements engineering process and system development. New requirements emerge as a system is being developed, and after it has gone into use, you need to keep track of individual requirements and maintain links between dependent requirements so that you can assess the impact of the requirements changes. You need to establish a formal process for making change proposals and linking these two system requirements. Changing requirements. The business and technical environment of the system always changes after installation. New hardware may be introduced. It may be necessary to interface the system with other systems. Business priorities may change with consequent changes in this system support required, and new legislation and regulations may be introduced that the system must necessarily abide by. The people who pay for a system and the users of that system are rarely the same people. System customers impose requirements because of the organizational and budgetary constraints. These may conflict with the end user requirements, and after delivery, new features may have to be added for user support if the system is to meet its goals. Changing requirements. Large requirements usually have a diverse user community with many users having different requirements and priorities that may be conflicting or contradictory. The final system requirements are inevitably a compromise between them, and with experience it is often discovered that the balance of the support given to the different users has to be changed. Requirements evolution. See the figure. Requirements management planning establishes the level of requirements management detail that is required. Requirements management decisions. Requirements identification. Each requirement must be uniquely identified so that it can be cross-referenced with other requirements. A change in management process. This is the set of activities that assesses the impact and cost of changes. I discuss this process in more detail in the following section. Traceability policies. These policies define the relationships between each requirement and between the requirements and the system design that should be recorded. Tool support. Tools that may be used range from specialist requirements management system to spreadsheets and more simple database systems. Requirements change management. Deciding if a requirement change should be accepted. Problem analysis and the change specification. During this stage, the problem or the change proposal is analyzed to check that it is valid. This analysis is fed back to the change requester, who may respond with a more specific requirements change proposal or decide to withdraw the request. Change analysis and costing. The effect of the proposed change is assessed with traceability information and general knowledge of the system requirements. Once this analysis is completed, a decision is made whether or not to proceed the requirements change. Change implementation. The requirements document and where necessary, the system design and implementation are modified. Ideally, the document should be organized so that the changes can be easily implemented. See the figure.